Hey, good morning, girls. Kind of coming live with no announcements. Kind of coming live with no announcements. Um, and the topic today was so perfect for what's really going on. We are totally dead in the water over here. We have no cable. We have no internet. We have no phones. We have nothing. Apparently, during our freezing, because we've been freezing overnight, below freezing in the 20s, apparently there's problems with the lines. And so until the sun comes out and thaws them out, we have no services. So I'm winging it off of a cell phone right now, hoping there's enough of a ping off at the tower to get us through a few minutes here before they show up. And I mean, talk about crazy. And that's why today's topic is so perfect, because I really did start grumbling today. Oh, girls, I'm fit to be tied. It's a Monday morning. Things are crazy on Mondays for me with the business and making sure I have everything ready to go for the week, and just some of the changes that's happening in our house. And then there's Christmas time, and there's this and there's that, and oh my gosh, it can drive you batty. So we're going to wing it, and we're going to talk about grumbling today because it's a perfect fit for me, and it may be for you since it's a Monday. And if we have to end it, it's because Complorium decided to show up. So we're going to go here. We're going to pray for a strong enough signal off of the cell phone to make it through, and we're going to just dig right in. How's that? So today, grumbling. That is my topic. And how many times do we grumble, girls? How many times when things aren't going just right do we start just grumbling? And we just complain and we murmur and we just whine about stuff. Oh, girls, it happens a lot. And especially when we're under a lot of pressure and under a lot of stress to get things done, we grumble. And I'm going to read to you our verse for today. It's Philippians 2:14 and 15. And it made me, when I looked at it this morning, I had to stop. I had to stop and say, wow, yeah, I'm grumbling, I'm moaning, and I'm complaining this morning. Oh, Lordy. And Lord, I'm sorry. Because I know that this is just a circumstance. This is just a season, a time where maybe things aren't just where I wanted, but maybe it's where God wanted me to go. Have you ever thought about that? Instead of grumbling about where we're at, wonder and ask, is it where God may want us for now? Maybe there's a purpose. Maybe He wants us to slow down. And I'm sitting here, and as I'm grumbling and whining about this and watching out front here to see when they might show up, and keep checking the little internet connection on the bottom, and keep picking up the phone receiver to see if it's working, and, go checking the cable to see, is the Hallmark channel on? And I had to stop and I have to say, God, you're trying to get my attention today? Did you need me to slow down? That's a great question. But let's look at Philippians 2:14 and 15. And God says to us, do everything without grumbling and arguing, so that you may be blameless and pure. Ouch. Yeah, that's not the way I woke up this morning. Because see, when Greg left this morning, he says, honey, he says, the phones and everything's still down. They went down at 8 o'clock last night. And that's okay. I don't need to be on here at night. I don't need to be in here on a Sunday night dealing with clients. They can wait till Monday morning. Everything was good. We didn't need the phone. It was all good. But I wake up this morning, and as he's leaving, he says it's still down. You know what my thoughts were? Pull the covers back over your head and just forget the day. We're done. Day's ruined, day's over. I started whining. I went back to sleep. I woke up and I said, you know what? We got stuff to get done. We got to get to getting out here. And then God reminded me just so gently about this grumbling, that maybe it's a time to not worry about the stuff here that has to be done. There's a whole day ahead of me. To not worry that the internet's not working. To not worry that the phone isn't working. I didn't need to sit here and grumble about it. What in your life today is not working? What in your life today have you been trying to get done and it just seems that there's no cooperation? There's no teamwork. Your family's just, your kids. I mean, we could go on and on for the excuses and the reasons and the things and the hurdles and the chaos. But we're supposed to do everything without grumbling and arguing. Everything. See, God doesn't tell us some things. He tells us all things. So what area in our life today do we need to examine and ask God, where do I need to step back and really look at this? Am I just grumbling and complaining and whining? Is there something that He might be showing us today, showing you today, that says He just wants us to stop and pause? He just wants us to focus on the things that are good. Martha and Mary come to mind. Maybe God wants you to be a Mary today, not be a Martha. Maybe it's for a couple hours. Maybe it's for a couple of minutes, because that's what the day has. But I challenge you today, girls, that if you're grumbling, and if you're complaining, oh, and if you're whining, like I was this morning, that you may see that God may be slowing you down for a moment to get your attention and ask Him to help you through this. Ask Him to show you the solutions. You know, another time that I get really worked up is when something in the house isn't working right. Toilet's back up, water's not running right, heater's not running right. I'm working on an electric stove and not a gas one, and it don't cook the same. Oh, see, girls, there's so many things we can complain about. We can whine about it. We could get up in the morning and know that our hair, I mean, good gracious, my hair just is all laying back and sticking out on sides and just all, but you know what? Oops, I made it stand up. It's okay. Stop being so critical. Stop being so hard on yourself. Stop grumbling and whining. And be grateful. See, because the way I have to look at it here, yeah, right now we're like we're sitting here watching the pot boil. You know what that does, right? The water never boils when you sit there and watch it, not until you walk away. But we're at a place this morning here that there's total peace in this house. There's quiet. The dogs are all sleeping. They're really lazy. That's because it's cold. And I get a chance to sit here and be gently reminded by God that all this grumbling I'm doing serves no purpose at all. That all of this is fine. Because see, what this is going to allow me is more quiet time in this house. See, I need to work on my vision and my plan for 2017. I've been so busy that I haven't had time for the mastermind group that I'm in to actually focus on that yet. Because I've been so busy getting stuff done for everybody else. Because that's what was important. So instead of grumbling this morning, as I struggle to find some form of how do I make this kind of work, I need to rest in the peace that God has given me. Because see, what I do know is that as I lean into Him and trust Him and stop my grumbling and whining, there is so much joy and peace and happiness, and things just get done. I guarantee by the end of today, ladies, my stuff will be done. Even though we're after 9 o'clock now and it hasn't even been started, I'm behind. But instead of grumbling about it, I'm going to find the time to spend more time with God. Because He'll work out the details. I just have to press into Him. I have to trust that God is going to show me exactly what needs to be done. I need to trust that God is going to take care of all the little pieces today. And what breaks my heart, girls, is when I watch so many women grumbling, complaining, and whining, and they don't have that joy in their heart because they're focused on the can'ts instead of what they can do. Where's your focus today, ladies? Are you grumbling? Are you grumbling because you don't like your job instead of being blessed that you have one? Are you grumbling that the kids aren't picking up after themselves instead of being grateful that you have a home that can be messed up? I heard a story one day of a lady, excuse me, that was really upset that she would go to her friend's house and her friend's carpet always had those, you know, when you run the vacuum and you have like those lines, you can tell where the vacuum is. Every time she'd go to her friend's house, she would see these perfect vacuum lines, kind of like you see on the lawns with the guys that mow their lawn and these beautiful diagonals and all. And she'd go home and her carpet was a mess. There was dog hair everywhere and paper everywhere and toys everywhere. And she would complain, why can't my house look like hers? She grumbled. Until one day she sat down for coffee with her friend. And she found out that her friend had lost a child, then couldn't conceive again. And the only reason that her carpet looks like that is she has no traffic in that house. She doesn't have children to mess it up. She doesn't have dogs that run around and leave their dog hair everywhere. Her house is vacant. It's just her husband in the house. The woman goes back to her home and realizes that the fact that she has no lines in her carpet means that she has a home that is filled with love. And the fact that the children don't pick up their toys. She is blessed to have those children and be able to give them those toys. The dog hair is not vacuumed up every day. But she's got lovable dogs that just can't wait to see her when she comes home. The kitchen sink is filled with dirty dishes because her husband forgot to help her with the kitchen after dinner. And she realized she's blessed to have had the food to cook on her table to leave behind the dirty dishes. The rest of that day and the rest of her life, that woman did not grumble again. Because, see, ladies, perfection does not mean joy. We are flawlessly perfect. We are flawsome. We embrace our uniqueness. We understand our challenges. And life doesn't always play out the way you expected it to. Obstacles. Poop happens. It's what you do with it. Stop grumbling, ladies. Trust me, my morning is a much happier thing this morning after I stopped grumbling. And yeah, we're at, what time is it? We're after 9. We're heading towards 9:30. And I'm still down. I have no internet. I have no phone. I have no cable. But you know what? I have got a beautiful home in the country. It's Christmas time. I have 4 babies that love me, a husband that is compassionate, a God that loves me and died for me. I am blessed. I am blessed beyond my imagination. Are you grumbling today? Go back and read Philippians 2:14-15. Do everything without grumbling and arguing, so that you may be blameless and pure. Are you grumbling today? Let's give that to God. All right, girls, I'm out of here. I love you. Sorry to run late, but oh, look, Complorium's down the street. Awesome. Look what happens when you give it to God. He moves and he works. All right, love you, girls. Catch you tomorrow. Bye-bye.